Hello and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're gonna talk about how we can combine the RC-505 with Ableton Live. And it's really just one setting that you need to change in order for it to work properly. And if you just wanna see that, then press that button or go to that time in the video and you'll find that. Otherwise, you should get some backstory from me. During quarantine, I played with my keyboard and the RC-505, right? I just looped it into the instrument input. But now, since I have real gigs again, where I go out to play, by the way, the next one is in Graz on the 13th of July. And since I don't want to, drag my entire big keyboard with me if I move around, I thought it would be much nicer if I could just, have it on my computer. And so I downloaded Ableton Live. Let's just quickly open that you can see. And here we go. As you can see, I'm in my first week of the 90 days trial, which is pretty cool. Ableton Live offers a 90-day trial and you have full functionality of the program. Like, you can use everything. You can save and you can do everything in that trial period, which is cool. I mean, I tried out other music production software like Fruity Loops, and there it always had some, you could save, but you couldn't load projects anymore and some strange stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy with Ableton so far that you have a 90-day trial of the full version of Live. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna give you a tour of Ableton. There are so many tutorials here on YouTube that you can check out to learn how to use Ableton. I don't want to make another one of these. But basically, I'm here in this session view where I have my audio and MIDI tracks, and then I can just, select. I can drag a piano here, and then I can play by using my keyboard of my computer. Because in the beginning I thought, yeah, it should be enough if I just, if I can do simple chords with my computer keyboard, then I'm good. I just want to put some chords, maybe put a simple chord progression like and voila, we have something on the RC-505. I was like, that should be fun, that should be fine, I just want to do that. But when I first started, it didn't sound like that. In the beginning, this happened. I was hitting a button, and a second later came the signal to the RC-505. So basically, if we have some beat like that, and then you wanted to add some bass, it just didn't work because there was so much delay on that. There is so much delay on that. So I read through some forum posts, and apparently there's an issue with the keyboard and that there's some kind of delay. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna buy myself an external keyboard because I like that anyway. It's much nicer to have it because first of all, it's super nice and handy. This stuff I can transport. This thing not so much, or at least not so easily. And the advantage of an external keyboard is also such a keyboard and not just is that I have different velocities. I can be soft or hard, right? And it's also definitely a lot nicer to play here my chords than on my keyboard, like on my laptop keyboard. And this thing cost me like 40 euros or something, so it wasn't that much. It's an Akai Professional Laptop Performance Keyboard 25. LPK25. It can do all sorts of interesting stuff like arpeggios. If you want a tutorial on that thing, I guess I could make one, but I actually never really used the arpeggios. I like to play it myself. The important thing for me was that I had those buttons on there that let me change the octave, like... Because that's very important, that you can quickly change the octave. That was the only thing that I was looking for in my keyboard, and it has that, and so I was like happy. Collected with like mini USB. Mini. Anyhow. But yeah, let's not talk too much about the keyboard. This is just an external keyboard that I got because I was hoping that I would get rid of that delay. But as you can hear, it didn't get rid of the delay. I still had the same issues as with this. But fortunately, fixing that is super easy. Oh, and by the way, maybe I should mention, I have my keyboard as well as my RC-505 just connected via USB. I use a USB hub because my laptop doesn't have so many USB slots. So via USB hub, it's not even powered. Just plug them in, have the RC-505 in audio mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The USB mode should be audio MIDI and not storage. I explained that setup in my how to live stream video. That's all I had to do with the RC-505. And because my computer automatically routes the output through. And that's exactly the problem, that my computer, my sound card, does the audio routing. And this causes problems because my sound card is shit. As you would expect from a like random laptop that is not optimized for, you know, sound design. I don't have a particularly strong sound card. Or maybe it's even a Windows problem. I don't even know. But I know the solution. Look at that. You just go to Preferences. And then here in the driver type, you don't select the DirectX or MME, but you select the ASIO, which stands for Audio Stream Input Output. And with that driver type, you can then select your RC-505. Ableton Live will recognize the looper, no problem. You just need to have it plugged in and it recognizes it and you can use the default settings. That's perfectly fine. Now we have a total latency of less than 50 milliseconds. Before, by the way, we had like 300 milliseconds almost. And with that, we're down to less than 50. And that makes so much of a difference. Because now, with those settings, I can actually be like... Yeah, so really, this is the important part. This is the important part. And everything else just, you know, basically works out of the box. Now, as I said, I don't want to do an Ableton Live tutorial. Of course, you can do so many things with Ableton. I don't even want to get into that. I mean, you can use it to produce your music. The way I use it for now is literally just to select from this list of instruments, which is quite a big list, quite a few things in there. And I just like to select one of those voices, and then when it's armed, I can play it, and that I then loop into the RC-505. So I still do all my looping with the RC-505. I'm fully aware that you can loop with Ableton Live, obviously. I mean, And I was thinking of getting an Ableton Push, you know, the thingy that is like, that gives you an interface to Ableton with all those buttons, and which would replace my RC-505. But as we all know, I'm quite a fan of the RC-505. I even bought a second one, which is in that box, which I still did not open. My main looping is still in a cappella style. I'm still mainly a vocal looper, but it's just nice to have a keyboard. Yeah, that just, I mean, it's cool. And since the output is routed directly to the RC-505, I can just use it as an input. Oh yeah, before I forget, another setting that of course you need to set that the RC-505 hit system 4 times and once to the right, and then set the USB audio mode, the audio routing, to loop in, such that the incoming sound you can record here. Because otherwise you can just, I mean, if you just want to play the keyboard and not loop it in, then set it to submix. And if you just want to put it to the line out, then set it to line out. But you know, if you want to use it like me, to use this as an input device for the RC-505, then set it to loop in. And yeah, that's basically it. It's as easy as that. Just get yourself the Ableton Live free trial for 90 days. And I'm really considering buying Ableton Live because it's pretty cool. And maybe at some point in the future, I'll also get myself the push and do the live looping with that. Because admittedly, if you do mainly that keyboard kind of stuff, it does make sense to loop with Ableton because you just have so much more freedom. You can have basically an infinite number of tracks, and whereas here you limit it to 5. And so, you know, it does have advantages, but for now I still prefer my RC-505 mainly for the input and output effects, and because it's just so much more compact. And for live performances, I don't know, it's nice to have those faders and the buttons for stop and play, and also I'm used to the RC-505, so that's the main reason why for now I stay with it. We'll see how my live looping develops, but for now I just use Ableton basically as an instrument because there's so many different voicings in here, and that's pretty cool. Sometime last year I bought a C board, right? Something like that, just more expensive, and they said it's more expressive, but I didn't really like it. We have a Rolly C board right here. The main reason why I didn't like it was because there were only so few sounds that I could use on it that I was like, that doesn't make sense. I can't do many different voicings there, and what's the point? There are not a lot of things you can use, you know, a little bit. Most of them is just one, and then the rest is just no strings. I mean, come on. Didn't stay with that, and then I sent it back. And I guess that's that. That's how you use Ableton Live as an input for the RC-505. If you have more questions on how to combine that or to play off each other, I'm still figuring stuff out. But I think I have the basics down. By now I'm at that point where I say, yes, I can take my computer and this external keyboard with me on stage and perform with it. It works reliable enough for me to try this out. If you want to come join my live performance, I'll be in Graz in Hops on the 13th of July. So I see you there. And otherwise, I see you at my next tutorial video or vlog if you're into that, because I mean, I am a vlogger after all, right? Now, if you excuse me, I go back to my hobby of looping with the RC-505 and Ableton as an input. I actually have a new favorite thing to do now, since I was playing around with this. I just play random chords, and then I try to sing any music on top of that. Any existing song, I try to fit it on top of that. That's my new hobby now, and it's actually quite fun. And for that, you could leave me a comment and say which songs I should combine in a mashup next, because I'm always running out of ideas which songs to combine. But if somebody writes me comments, I can try that. That would be cool. Yes, please. I'm gonna continue doing that now, and you go make a backup.
I got the horses in the back, horse track is attached, hat is Mac Black, got the boots up like the match, riding on a horse, you can whip the Porsche. Yeah, can't nobody tell me nothing. Can nobody tell me nothing? You can't tell me nothing. Cause I'm the Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So would the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up, please stand up. Cause I'm the Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. With the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So would the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up, please stand up. Can nobody tell me nothing? You can't tell me nothing. I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad, and I got sunshine in the bag. I'm useless, but not for long, 'cause the future is coming on. No, I ain't happy, I'm feeling glad, I got sunshine in a bag. I am lossless, but not for long, because the future is coming on. It's coming on, 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 it's coming. 'Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up. I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up. 'Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. With the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up. 'Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. It's coming on, 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 it's coming on.
And that's what I mean with just mashing up whatever songs I can think of. So yeah, that's pretty. I must admit, that is pretty fun. So let me know in the comments which songs I should mash up next, and then I'll see you in the next video. Till then.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up. Can nobody tell me nothing? Oh, you can't tell me nothing. Can nobody tell me nothing? You can't tell me nothing. So I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up. 'Cause I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All the other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up, please stand up.